Morning. Been a little while. Hope everybody is alright. If you see that white thing, that's actually, I'm underneath the sunshade today because it is just so warm. But I thought I'd pop on and see how everybody's doing. Bear with me, I'm nearly done. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Right. Yes, there we go. Hi. Gosh, I hope everybody's doing okay. Lovely weather at the moment, isn't it? Warm today. All our flowers in bloom. We're going to be taking Mum out as Pete's working today. He's working at home today, but he's working, so I don't want to disturb him too much. And I've got back from my journey, seeing some lovely, one of my best friends in the whole world, and another very old friend as well. Dear friends of mine, and I haven't seen them for such a long time. So it was really nice just to spend a few days. I had to say I did miss Poppy and Pete and Mum. I missed Poppy and Pete a lot. But I was only away for 2 sleeps. I mean, goodness me. But there we go. So it made me really appreciate it. But also, I was so happy to be able to spend some time with my friends, catch up, have a laugh, share some food, share some time. It was great. And it kind of reminds me how, lucky we are when we connect with people, when we find people of our tribe, so to speak, when we feel that connection. And even if you don't actually meet them, we've been very lucky with, Hopper inspiring everybody to be able to jump on and do lives, and finding this beautiful heart community, heart family, which is just a gift, in so many ways. When one of us is feeling a little bit lost or down, there's somebody that's maybe posted something up or says something, and because you're speaking from the heart, because you're working from the heart, it comes at the right time for the right people. And I think we've got to trust that when things get dark and difficult, we have to trust it. And sometimes I know that you can question if this is the right way, especially if things have been damaging around you. And as I say, with everything sort of, will it open up in the UK, will it not? And it sounds like they're pushing back the date for everything to open up here at least a couple more weeks. And that's, I'm very philosophical about it. As long as we're safe and we are respectful of other people, how they feel about things. But I think it's really important. I think that is it's being the mindful, isn't it? Being in that mindful space. There may be a reason why somebody is acting out. That it could be lots of different things, but we just need to stay in our heart space. Try not to be triggered by that. Usually when we're triggered by it, it's because it resonates with something in us, whether it's a previous damage or a hurt or lesson that we need to learn, or something that we want to work on ourselves, but we maybe not realise it. I see I'm hiding from the sun. It's boiling already. Almost 9 o'clock here. Just dropped Poppy off. She, yesterday when I arrived home, I got home about, I don't know, 4:30. She'd been home for a while. And I quietly came in, because I'd been driving. I stopped off at a friend's, so on the way back, so I had a break, but I'd been driving solidly for about 2.5, 3 hours. So I got home, and you know what it's like, you've driven, you kind of want to arrive, don't you? So I quietly came in, and Pete saw me in the hallway, got big hugs. When Poppy, there was something that arrived in the post for Father's Day for Pete, and that Poppy had wanted to get him. So I had to take it up to her, and I was like, Poppy, and she was like, coming, and then she stopped and went, wait a minute, came rushing out of her room and gave me one of the biggest hugs and said how much she'd missed me. So it was lovely to come home, be welcomed like that by everybody, by Mum. She's had a wonderful time because her sister had come to visit, so they've been catching up, and there's been a lot of laughter and bird watching and good food eaten and stuff like that. So all I can say is it's been the last few days have been really great. Really, it's been nice to do that, because I definitely felt, I think, when I've been locked down and I'm very happy to sort of go on walks around here and connect with nature around here and go out to places, but I haven't done big travelling on my own for a while. So it was really nice to just step in and just be just be just go out and do a bit of travelling and go and see people that you love and laugh and break bread together. So I hope that, you know, as things unfold and you get the opportunity to see the people that you've really missed, you know, that are that addition, you know, they are the extended family that you've chosen, or the extended family, the people that you love and care about. Do it, you know, do it mindfully, because some people, you know, are still very cautious, and that's all absolutely fine, and it's respecting that, isn't it? It's like respecting other people's opinions. You might not agree with them, but it doesn't mean you have to fall out over it. You have to find ways to do that. But, you know, obviously, you know, like Hoppy said about narcissists, you know, there are people out there that it's not for that, and you don't waste your energy on that, and you know it, really, you know, you kind of know, and you just have to kind of really follow that instinct, even when you're a nurturer and you want to help everybody. That's not actually helping yourself, and that's damaging yourself, and that's a lesson you have to learn. And I think it's really important that we work on ourselves, we give ourselves a bit of a break. Sometimes I think personally we can be really hard on ourselves. I know I can be, and I kind of have to take a deep breath and think, you know what, it's not about, you know, it's about empowering others, inspiring others, creating a positive vibration, sending out that loving vibration, you know, so people aren't so stuck in that cycle of pain and ego and fear. And the more that we can do that, the more that we can react without shaming somebody, without causing that wagging finger, without causing that pain. And don't get me wrong, there are times, you know, like if something happens quickly and you need to pull somebody out of the way of like a passing car, and you might shout at them, that's more to do with the fear that you could have lost that person. So that's different. I'm not talking about that kind of, what are you doing? But I am talking about, it's very easy to shame somebody. And I find that very challenging, because the thing is, as soon as you teach somebody that lesson, they want to move that lesson onto somebody else. So you're creating like this ripple of shame that goes out, and actually that it's not a use. It's not, for me, I don't think personally it's a useful lesson. It's a lesson to know, so you understand maybe when you're dropping into it or when somebody's doing it to you. But then when that happens, you need to let it go and not take it so personally, because usually when somebody's shaming, it's because they've got their own issues with that particular thing, you know, or it's fear creeping in. So I do think we just need to take that deep breath and try not to get drawn into that headspace, and try very, you know, to sit with it, take those deep breaths. You know, if you can do the japa japa, the so hum of the breath, the mantra breath that we've done that since we're born, as Bruce said. You know, we can take that moment before we kind of react. Instead of reacting to something, you take that breath and find a way of actually putting your point across without anger and without shame, but with love, because it's much easier to understand a lesson and really take something positive from it, and then share that lesson with somebody else, sending it with love. You know, sending it in a positive way, sending it in a loving light. So, yeah, I hope that everybody's getting an opportunity to embrace this turn of the wheel. We're coming up to solstice, coming up for that long day, and then obviously we've got summer holidays for the kids, and yawning stretch of July and August, but embracing June, because I don't know, all of a sudden it feels like everything's popped. Our garden is suddenly full of flowers, and the bees are buzzing around, and you know, we're watering, and our strawberries are nearly ready, and it's a very lovely time. We're able to, out on the decking, I know you can't see, but just below where I've got you, we've got our lettuce plants in tubs, so we're being able to sort of cut when we want lettuce in the morning, like at tea time, and have fresh vegetables. It's lovely, and everything's growing at a pace down in the vegetable patch, all the way down there. Let's see. But speaking of mantra, do let me know if you do want to be part of Bruce's workshop. We've only got a few spaces just to keep everybody, you know, safe and socially distant, so to speak. But to be doing mantra with a group would be really amazing. It is for a whole day. It's in August, so hopefully things. But you know, if you are interested, please get in touch with me, because I think there's only there's only 6 spaces left. So please do, if you are if you are expressing interest, you know, obviously with things the way they are, it will if something happens and we're all closed down again, obviously then we are, but I would like to know numbers. You know, what I've said is give me a deposit and then I can hold that spot for you. Obviously if there becomes something where we're nationally locked down again or something, that will be refunded to you. But if you just drop out, then it won't be. It's, you know, I'm going to be as fair and as possibly I can. But it's £35 for the whole day. Bring your own lunch and a extra bottle of water, and it should be a fantastic day. It will be on Sunday the 8th of August. I have got an event up, so I'll share it again. Can you see the umbrella? Sorry, looks a bit like a parrot or an elephant, I don't know. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope you're staying in. I know sometimes it's quite hard with everything moving. I find sometimes when things are moving at a pace, I don't know if I quite like it moving so fast. I think we need to not forget what we have learnt in these lockdown times, about how the slower pace of life is actually better for our mental welfare, that connecting with the land that we walk upon, the people that share this earth, the living beings that share this earth, this beautiful land, and without them, without the bees to pollinate, without the birds to sing, to all of the things, all of the creatures that are here, and all of the living beings, the plants, they all give that a vibration out. And if we didn't have that, something, you know, things would get bad here. So we've been given this opportunity to do something about it. You know, to be more mindful about, you know, having simpler things. We don't need loads and loads of things. Do we really, to make us happy? Or having all these things, does that weigh us down from where we need to be? I don't know. I mean, I do like my things, don't get me wrong. I'm not somebody who's just going to give up everything, and I have a lot of responsibilities and commitments where certain tools are really useful. But I do think we sometimes become too reliant on the easy way. And actually, I don't know about you, but I almost think sometimes when you're actually physically digging something, or you're doing something that's, you know, like working you a little bit hard, creating a little bit of a sweat on your brow, or, you know, you're putting effort into it, or as Deadpool, maximum effort into it, you I think I personally get an immense sense of satisfaction, and I get gratitude. I feel grateful that I've done it. I feel that gratitude. And I think for me, when you do things that remind you of things that you're grateful for, you know, if you can take a moment, and I know it's difficult for folks who are like got young families and you know, working and got my own businesses, and you know, I'm up early and I make sure that my mum has her breakfast and things are, you know, you do what you do. But if there's an opportunity, even if it's like half a minute before you get out of bed and you wake up and you take that moment for yourself to think of 3 things that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be like, even if you can't, you know, that you're grateful that you slept through the night, that you're grateful that you've got breakfast for the morning, that you're grateful the sun is shining or that the rain is falling, whatever it might be. If you can work with that gratitude, if you start doing that after a few weeks, you'll find that because this is the science bits, folks. I was listening to a program on Radio 4 when I was travelling up to my friend up north, and there was a whole thing about how to help with our mental welfare, because a lot of people have really struggled. This has been a time, I feel, that you've got a number of people that have been able to reconnect with nature, feel that connection with spirit, with the energy of this land, and have a healing process. It's challenging, and you have others that have fought against it because they're fearful that they have their own problems, that they need support. And something like, and it sounds a little bit like, oh really, but actually it's been proven that if you can start thinking of things, it's just 3 things. It doesn't have to be like a tome each morning, or you could do it before you go to bed. I know people that sit down, when they sit down with their families of an evening, that will sit down around the table, and before they eat, they'll say one thing they're grateful for the day. Sometimes it's more than one, but they'll sit and share that with their family. And each time you do something like that, you're rewriting your synapses to a more positive way of thinking. I know it sounds a bit strange, but it's actually been scientifically proven, and I'm a firm believer in it. The more you can do that, it's just one of many things. I mean, it's not something that, if you're struggling with mental health issues, it's not going to make it better straight away or anything like that, but it's one of those threads, one of the strands that will help with your tapestry of healing. And I think it's really important that you remind yourself of that. It's not usually one thing that will help in the healing, when we're talking about mental well-being, because our brains, our thinking, the way that we see the world is very complicated. It's multifaceted and multicoloured. There is no black and white about it. Even if some people see the world in black and white, they also see the shades of grey in it, but they don't necessarily understand how they fit in. And I think, again, that's about being mindful of how you don't know what's going through somebody else's mind at that particular time. You don't know how they're thinking about something. You don't know what their past is to contribute how they react to something. All we can do is be the best versions of ourselves, be that loving light, be working on ourselves. When we feel our fear, we feel it and face it. If we can do that, face everything and rise, which is fear. If you can face everything and rise, and it is scary, and there's been moments, when I did this big drive on Sunday, I used to, before becoming a mum, I worked for a charity, and I travelled all across the country. That was my job, all across the country, and I loved it. I used to do a lot of driving, and my life changed. I became a parent. I stepped back from the working world to basically be, as Pete says, the oil with the cogs that moves the family engine around and make everything run smoothly. And that's I like that. It's a compliment, but I changed my world, which meant that I was, before, I still am an independent person. I'm still quite, but my life has changed me, experiences has changed me, and I hadn't gone driving for that kind of distance by myself for quite a while. So it was really nice. When I on Saturday night when I went to bed, I was a little bit apprehensive about it, sort of gave myself a talking to, and then I had a great time listening to music, singing at the top of my lungs, nobody else in the car, and just doing it. Just having that silent time by myself was, for me, absolutely the best thing ever. I love that. I love being able to have the silent space. So I don't need to fill every moment with noise. I always think, if you feel that way, why can't you sit with yourself in silence? Why not? What is it? Is there ways to calm it down, or You know, I know Poppy's got, because she fidgets quite a bit, so she's got like these fidget devices, you know, things like to just be able to click to keep her calm, anti-anxiety stuff. And that helps with her. It's great, you know. So I think everybody's different. We all have, you know, we all weave our own life patterns. We all create our unique vibration that we put into this land, into this space. And I think we just need to make sure that we are mindful of what we put in, mindful that others will not be on the surface be looking absolutely amazing, but they could be really struggling. And testament to them, because they've still got to carry on and do what they need to do, but they've got a lot that they're dealing with. And you know, us being mindful of other people's, if we get wrapped up in our heads, we forget to be mindful because we're just thinking of the self. And the more we can step out of that, and the more that we can feel that loving vibration and send it out, it inspires others to do the same. This is how good teachers work, I feel. And mentors is it's about inspiring others, and the way to do that is through your deeds, through your actions, through your reactions. So, you know, be the loving light, share your beautiful love vibration out, be mindful and be caring and kind. You know, these are the things that will actually that we need right now. We really need right now. We need to continue to be mindful and not get angry. You know, it is frustrating. I find it very frustrating. I go to some of these beautiful places and I find that rubbish has been dumped because people don't really, they don't care. They're so wrapped up in the self because they've conditioned to feel that that's how it should be. Somebody else will pick it up. There's been a loss of actually taking responsibility for your actions. I think it's really important now. We even more so now, like global level, we need to be more responsible, and maybe could come together to create that one voice that says to people who maybe are thinking more about taking the money and run, so to speak, that we won't have that. We just need to create our own space, and if they can't do that, we just need to. Again, you know, this reaction, we don't need to feed into it. Don't need to feed into that fear. Don't feed the fears. Be the loving light. Be that wonderful space. Take time. All I can hear right now is buzzy bees around me. Don't know if you can hear them. The Russian vine is starting to open, and the bees will absolutely go crazy when they're there. It'll be so lovely. And so, but I'm off to get some more birdseed because all our bird feeders are almost empty, and the birds are having a wild old time at the moment. So we're going to go and get some more birdseed so Mum can sit out here and watch the birds feeding. So can I. I hope that you will have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Stay in that loving light that you are. Oceans and oceans of love out to everybody. Don't forget to hydrate. Plenty of water or green teas or teas or whatever you have. Be those amazing people that I know you are. So oceans of love out to everybody. Have an amazing day and stay safe and stay well.